Good afternoon, sir, and thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to come here to have a conversation with you. We are so privileged. My name is Preskana Lamle Lamte, Miss Pokwase 2024, and we are embarking on a project mainly with the aim of encouraging the young ones out there to participate in the upcoming elections. And as part of it, we have the Engage Meet, where we meet personalities like yourself who cannot have immediate access to the youth out there will bring out their grievances and all that they are, their questions and their fears to your doorsteps and equally take your response and give them a feedback on that so that based on what they get, they are going to make informed decisions pertaining the upcoming elections. As part of my campaign, I don't work alone. I have two gentlemen with me who have been with me throughout the period. On my immediate left, I have Mr. OK Joseph with me. And then I on my right too, I have Mr. Bannerman with me too. Yes, please. So, Honorable, I would like to know more about you. And as much as we are going to have a very serious convo, I would like to know that which SHS or institution did you attend growing up?
Okay. So Glasgow was my alma mater. That was sort of a secondary school. Half half. My mom is an Ewe. My dad is a Fanti. But I grew in the Ewe land. And so I went to Sudago Secondary School.
Oh, okay, that's nice. And maybe people have different stories backing whatever they are venturing into currently. So maybe growing up you wanted to do something, but then politics. But I learned you're a doctor. Maybe in school you didn't really want to do science, but then for some reasons, or you just had a passion to do it.
Well, my life has been guided all through. Indeed, I wasn't expecting myself to become a medical doctor. I wanted to venture into the finance sector. That had to do with becoming a bank manager. I love money because money answers all things. And so, by eventually, this is where God placed me, and I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. And I would like to know how the family is also doing.
yeah, everybody is fine. I have 5 children and a wife.
Wow. That's massive. So, looking at the kind of pace that you've created regarding your academics and how far you've come, do you think that to some extent it serves as a pressure to your wards in terms of making decisions concerning their jobs? Or you just give them the opportunity to just feel free and then go whatever they feel like?
No, every child of mine has the opportunity and then the privilege to excel in his or her own choices of interest. Going through school, you realize that choosing your academics, you are told there are few things at stake: your interest, your ability, and what have you. So, I mean, throughout all of them, none of them want to become a doctor. My wife is also a doctor, but eventually we end up nailing the last born who finally accepted, who is in pre-sec now studying science to become a medical doctor. And so the door is open for everybody to pursue whatever level of academics or interest that he or she wants to.
So sometimes putting myself in the shoes of your wards, I imagine the kind of things that you hear from them. Maybe they came home and, Daddy, so when I went out, everyone was like, is this truly your daddy? Or do they normally come out not really talking much that about the kind of things that how people treat them? Because normally people in power and all that, they have some kind of preferential treatment from the other people out there, or you think they normally have a very.
My kids have been brought up in a way to understand that life, it doesn't matter who you are, wherever you're coming from. And so they don't carry themselves around as, call it, big man children or doctor's children or politician children or what have you. They are just simple, down to earth, like ourselves. We don't put it in their minds that they are exceptional children than any other children out there. In any case, I will die tomorrow. How do they live? If I had to put those things in their mind. Mind you, I've been a former military officer, so I believe that life can get shortened at any time. And so you brought up children in a way, in a manner that tomorrow when you're no more, they can be able to live and relate with all men and all women under the sun, respecting that it is always required that you live a very humble life. And we are also coming from a very, very strong Christian background. So we hate proud people. We hate people who underrate people, maltreat people. And so that's why we came out with even our charity foundations to be able to help the less privileged in society. My kids goes to my bedroom, open my drawer, open the mom's drawer, take anything they feel we have in excess and go and give it out to people. And so that is the kind of home we built, a home that is based on Christian values and respect for society, even respect for animals. I mean, you came to my home, you saw a lot of animals. We've been keeping animals because we respect animals, we respect nature, we respect every creation God has made. And so this is the kind of home we run. And so you can't be in my home, and then we do anything else that infringe the rules and the regulations that are bringing the values that we uphold in this home. So my kids are just like myself. They're just like their mom, down to earth. You see us outside, you see us to be ordinary, unless you come to my home and then you get to know who I am. So that's how it is. They are down to earth.
Okay, so and ever will say Mauna Yiraunto. It's such a privilege to be having this conversation with you. Just as Priska said, you said that you came from a guided background, right? Does it mean that you came from a background with medicine, like a medicinal background, where your parents were studied medicine, or?
No. I wasn't having that kind of background, like parents were like doctors or having a health knowledge and so on and so forth. No, my dad was a professional goldsmith. And
wow.
My mom is a professional trader.
Okay.
So those are the backgrounds that I came from.
Oh, okay.
So there was nothing like medical background
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned.
All right.
Yeah.
So I also know you love music. You love Bob Marley.
Good.
Yes. So aside Bob Marley, you listen to a lot. What kind of music do you listen to again?
Much more Christian songs.
Christian songs.
Yeah, I've never really get into much more other music than Christian songs.
Okay,
In my home, that's the kind of music we listen to. Whether driving, those are the kind of music I listen to. And anywhere, anytime, I listen to Christian songs.
So there's been this conversation around the kind of Christian songs that were recorded back in the days and the ones that are being sung now. Do you think that conversation is tangible, where people are saying that back in the days, the kind of Christian songs they were recording were fruitful, like they were things you could relate to, but now it's just about the fun? Do you think that conversation is true?
Well, there is no music that has no meaning to the hearers. It depends on the background you're coming from. In our days, it's quite a different thing. Music, Christian songs were really making meaning. They were really inspiring.
Okay.
Music is a culture, and it needed to be inspiring enough. But these days, what we see is that young people are interested in the beat and so on and so forth. But we were interested in the lyrics, what the music is speaking to us. And that was what we were growing up with. For instance, a song that was, introduced in the early 60s, 70s, that was sung in a tree. I hardly understand tree those days. But when it's being sung, I had to leave to wherever I am, go and then listen to that song. It inspires my spirit. It gives me hope, though I don't understand. But coming to Accra to come and then study tree or understand tree and then begin to know the meaning of that song. I think it really impacted a lot on my life. And so music is good for you young people today, as you also hear it, just as it was good for our time, what we were also listening to. But I prefer listening to the old-time Christian songs.
Okay, so
Yeah.
between the old time Christian songs and now, we want to know who your favorite artists are from those days and the current ones.
Well, I am not interested in the attics.
Okay.
I don't use attics. Currently, the artists that I listen to most of their music is Hamilton. What do you
Dinah
call it?
Hamilton.
Dinah Hamilton. Good. Her music makes a lot of meaning to me.
To you.
You understand that? But like the olden days, like Kofi Abraham, some of these musicians were making meaning, to us. Like the Oka Otu, the Yehovah, Shirano,
Yeah.
Shirano. That person's music has really impacted on me so much those days. So the old time musicians, for me, I listen to them.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Doc. I'm Alfred Banman Williams.
Right.
And on your take on the gospel, it is true, because I remember one time I was talking to one of my colleagues and I mentioned Esther Smith. And the person was like, Esther Smith? Who's Esther Smith?
Yeah.
We know Perez music and this thing. So back to the whole lifestyle. What sports do you say is your favorite?
Sports.
I mean, the military, there has to be something active.
Initially, when I was growing up, I loved football, right? But then in the course of playing one day, my knee was hit, and that was it. I gave up, playing football. But nonetheless, when it is being played, I love to sit down and watch. As I sit down here, I don't have what is called Kotoko fan, House of Folk fan, AC Milan fan, what have you club fan. I don't have that kind of stuff. No. Football is football. I watch. That is, if I have time to watch it, I have time to watch. I will sit down and then watch. Whether Ghana is playing, I'm okay with that. I'm a supporter of Ghana. But I don't have a favorite, call it a football club. But I watch football if I have the time to sit down to watch. I'm a workaholic. I don't have time too much for a lot of things. I'm a man who wants to achieve. We don't have time to celebrate. That is the kind of nature I am. We just want to work, and make sure society is liberated, people are free, people have life to live. I'm not a celebrant type of a person. Even if I should be a footballer and I score a goal and people are celebrating, I have scored a goal. That's the most important thing for me.
So you heard it here first.
Yeah.
He likes to work, but the important thing is that he likes Black Stars.
Well,
That is it.
that is it. It's
That
a
is
Ghanaian
it.
football.
It's a Ghanaian thing. So
um,
Black Stars it is.
So we all love Black Star.
Yes,
That's
at least
it.
that is a true patriot.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so before we go into the real conversation, you said you're a workaholic. You do a lot of things aside practicing medicine and politics. What else are you also into?
Well, I'm a very domestic person. Yeah, so at home, you don't know who is a house help, who is a wife, who is what have you. I join up my wife, my children. We do a lot of housekeeping activities in my home. And so we do that. Aside that, I love engaging people, just giving them advices, experiences, and what have you. So all the time you see, I get people that keeps, I keeps engaging them. They are all activities that I do. Nonetheless, we have our charity foundation where we see the way forward, putting in plans, measures as to how best we can be able to help people. And so there are a lot of series of things that I do just to make a meaning to life. as far as people are concerned. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
sharing this kind of personal life of yours. We are privileged. But then, as we said earlier, we are agents of transformation. And the main reason we came here is to bring the grievances of the youth, their fears, their expectations on board, get your responses, and then channel it back to them so that they can make informed decisions towards the upcoming election. So we are going to take some points and then.
That's right.
So when it comes to youth employment, what policies do you have for creating youth employment opportunities, and how best can young entrepreneurs in Pokwase be supported? So we are looking at employment. What are some of the initiatives you are going to bring aboard?
Well, already as a political party, one of our flagship policy is the 24-hour economy. Now, going around Trobu Constituency, and for that matter, this country, one of the thorny issues that we have in this country is youth unemployment. It has been becoming a security threat to all of us, because young people who cannot get anything to do gainfully eventually end up, becoming a threat to society. And so therefore, the 24-hour economy is a policy we want to ride behind, and then make sure that as much as possible, when this policy is rolled out, we can be able to employ as many youth as possible. There, we are looking at a situation where there will be opportunity for the security services in terms of police, in terms of military, customs, immigration, and name them. Because if people are allowed in the night to work, of course, they must have a free movement, of goods and services, persons and services of goods. And so therefore, we're going to measure in this area and make sure our young people, once I've been given the mandate to be in parliament, I'm going to lobby their share of the cake when it comes to employment for our young people, so they can be able to get a gainful employment and make a living. And by so doing, we are all free. Aside that, we have this entrepreneurship kind of training we want to embark on whenever the nod has been given to me, that our young people can venture in all fields of their endeavor, to be able to make a gain out of it. And in fact, it's an area that most of the time we don't critically look at as a nation. Now, you get to China right now, you ask of a phone cover. A young Chinese boy can just say, wait, within a second, and then put it together and then sell it to you. If you want 1,000 or dozens, it can be able to put those things together and give to you. If it is a box, it can be able to form it. These our washes are all made by these young Chinese people. But, in Africa, in Ghana, we just major in our form of education in academics without the practical aspect of education, which is really weighing us down. That is why the TVET education, which was brought before, I don't know how it is today, we're coming to strengthen it. And so we can be able to train our young people into entrepreneurship businesses, that they can be able to be self-sufficient. Myself, I believe in privatization of yourself as a human being. And so that's why I work as a private practitioner, okay? Having to open up my 2 clinics. My wife take care of one, I take care of one. It gives you that impetus of how you want things to be done, and then make use of your time. Your time is everything that we have under the sun. So entrepreneurship is what we're going to look at. Whether mechanics, you heard that one of our policies is we're going to stop these, scrap cars that this government says they're no more going to allow it to be imported into the country. That is a craftsmanship work. And so when the cars are accidental like that, they come to the country, our young people take charge of it. Talk of magazine, talk of Kokompe, talk of Bosokai. They try to put their hand on it. And eventually, it becomes a whole, full, brand new car, because it goes through the process, the sprayers finalize it, And at the end of the day, we have our cars on the road. And why do you want to stop that not to be happening? It means you are destroying a kind of entrepreneurship, a craftsmanship kind of training that our young people need. So these are all areas that we're going to be looking at when we have the opportunity. And so we can be able to make our society prosperous. My father, when he was a young man growing, we come from church, he would take his wash and then split it. Or take his gramophone and then split it. Or take his motorcycle and then split it. And then begin to reassemble it again. That's fantastic. And those things are down. They are down off now. Our young people can't do a lot of things like that. You understand that? So these are all craftsmanship. My kids were growing, I barber them myself. I'm a barber. Nobody barbers my hair till date. I barber myself till date. All right? And so these are all handiwork. When I move out of this country, get stranded somewhere, I can do barbering work and I live on it. Even in this country, if I choose today that I'm not going to be a practitioner anymore, and I set up a little barbering shop somewhere, I could be able to barber number of people in the course of a day and then make a living. These are practical things that we do with our hands that we need to encourage our young people. Not only come and then put on a tie, and then sit in an office means that you are working. No, we need to go away from some of this. So the technicalities and the technical schools that we have upgraded from technical to university, technical educations now, are things that gear towards some of these things, that we can begin to assemble, manufacture a lot of things to help our country. So it's an area we are actually looking at to industrialize this country, move from consumption to, production.
Okay, so you are going to focus on the fact that everyone has something inside and we need to come out to those initiatives and also use our hands.
Of course. It's just say this, your beautiful hair you have. You can fix it by yourself. Do you go out there and then spend money anymore? Or even if you have to fix it for somebody, don't you earn a living? So the hairdressers, the barbers, the barbering shops, and what have you, all these people are all handiwork that we need to the dressmaking and all that. Of late, I think we all stopping wearing the suit like this gentleman is doing this day. My suits are all in my room there now. We don't wear them. We want to be in African dress and all that. So we give employment to our people so they can be able to develop. This is how we build a country. And so it's an area we are looking at to make sure we expand that area for young people to be interested and then take up.
Thank you so much, Doctor. This is a very wonderful expansion on the question I asked. And I have another one too. What improvements can the youth expect regarding social services like healthcare and welfare, especially teenage pregnancy? That thing is a topmost social canker. Canker is too adverse, but then it's something that is talked of, especially in some communities like Pokwase. It has become something that like the youth, they are eating, especially the ladies. Let me put it that way. You see a very young girl, your age, you think this girl should be in school, should be doing something good, earning a living, and the girl is pregnant. There are underlying reasons though, but then what are you going to do?
The whole thing is, I don't believe so much in talking about problems. I believe in looking for solutions to the problems. All right? Why would a school-going girl child, get pregnant? Probably the house she's coming from is poor. So the underlying factor of this challenge we have in our society, where even young girls of teenage can't be given to older generations to marry and all these things, the underlying factor is poverty. That is the reason why it is very important for society to be liberated. People believe that all of us must not be rich or well-to-do. Some mentality or persuasions believe that if all of us are able to do well, who serve who? It is not in my vocabulary or in my concept of psychology or, philosophy. The point is that even that poor person who gave birth to that young lady must be able to have some standard of life to live. Are you getting it? So if the poverty is totally looked at in its holistic manner and eradicated, you don't see young girls getting pregnant. They will go to school and be able to have knowledge that this is the talent I didn't have to develop. But here is the case, the home is so poor. That is the reason why sometimes when we get these young girls that we discovered in various poor homes, we want to use our charity foundation to make sure they are sponsored. And that is what myself and my wife, we've been doing with our charity foundation, Delhi Ham Charity Foundation. So the bottom line is, it's not about they getting pregnant. It is about the causative factor, which is there. Once the cause is uprooted, there's nothing more to be talking about. Now, if a young lady at the age of, our laws states that at the age of 18 years, you can get married. You getting that? Now, outside the country, this is what happened. A child reached at the age of 18 years, it's no more a liability on the parents. You are liable to go out and then go and do whatever you want to do with your life. Because why? Society has been provided the needed questioning. Whether your parents are doing well or not, whether you have a home to sleep in or not, you have a shelter that the government has constructed. Everything in there provides services for you to live a very good life. So such a society, you don't see young people there getting pregnant. Are you getting it? So the whole thing is about the poverty. Once society is liberated, young people will live up to that expectation. Because they are young, 18, 19, 20 years. Their sexual organs are functioning. Are you getting it? Yes. You are telling them to abstain. How do they abstain? It's just like to say that focus and don't blink. The church says that, it's a sin. But these young girls are in the church. What is the church doing for their liberation? They are poor. So they see a young man who is well-to-do a bit that can give them some 100 cedis, 200 cedis. They fall to it because ladies need to look good. I don't believe that women must suffer. No, I tell my wife and she tells me I'm spoiling women. No, that's not the case. Women are not created by God for them to suffer. So I hate it when my two girls want to go through any challenges. It's a priority for me to make sure that they live a very good life. So the point is, you can't restrict people who are suffering. You cannot be a parent at home. You don't have sufficiency to take care of your girl child. And the girl child step out and then coming home about 9 o'clock or 10 p.m. And then you have the guard to be questioning that girl child. What moral right have you? So if that parent is well-resourced to be able to take care of the home, why would your girl child go out? Minus the ones that are exploring. They are also there. We interview prostitutes on the roadside. My wife is a Ghanaian. We have a lot of prostitutes that we deal with. You interview them, you realize that some of them are in there just for the fun of it. But some are in there genuinely because life is difficult. And so if I have to sell my cocoa out and then get some few things to live on, is it not better than to go and then steal and I'm caught and all that? And so this is the whole problem. So the poverty is what is leading to all these challenges. Once society is liberated, our road networks are good, our infrastructure development are okay, job opportunities are open to all, educational system is working very well. People can take advantage on and get a loan and go to school, better their life and have knowledge. Why not? These things all will be off the surface of Ghana and for that matter, Africa. Because we don't see it out there. So why here? It's the poverty. And the poverty also comes because people are greedy. Leaders in this country are greedy. Leaders in Africa are greedy. And I don't know whether it is coded in our brain as blacks. And so this is the challenge. So let's address the fundamentals, and then these things becomes a thing of the past. And I am for those kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Honorable.
Sir, I feel very attacked. You have really how do I say, you have really pierced into some of the things that we have missed out on. But you also mentioned the fact that some people wear tie and suit and all that. So I feel like that's a personal attack on me.
No,
That's
it's
a
not.
personal attack on
No,
you there.
nevertheless, we can't do away with the white collar, jobs. But it's just that we're focusing on that, so much than any other area. And that's why we all growing up, we say, try to become a doctor, become an engineer, become that. What about the farmer who feed us in the school?
That's true.
Are you getting it? So all other areas of our endeavor under the sun are very crucial. And so it's not a personal attack on you. I wear tie as well when I'm in a consulting role.
Since we are all youthful here and most of the people we engage are youthful, they also want to know how well you can help them to actually participate in decision making when it comes to the local level. Let's say, God willing, 7th December, you're declared the MP for Trobu. How well can you explain to them that, oh, my doors are open, or I know a way or a solution? Since you don't like problems, I have a solution to actually help make the youthful people participate at the local level when it comes to decision making.
Well, actually, when it comes to local government, it is this that is being at the mind of the local government system, that decision making must trickle down to the grassroots, that everybody have the opportunity to participate. It doesn't matter whether you are a youth or an elderly person. See, all these things start when we begin to make things at our assembly very clear to our young people to understand the role they need to play in the assembly local system. Because when the assembly fails us, then it means that every other thing within the locality is failed. The problem we're having in Trobu Constituency right now is because the assembly has failed us in a period of time. And so the young people have a say in the assembly system and the local government system, where they have a representations of the assemblymen. Some of them are young people, because assembly election is open context.
Yes.
Once it's even not partisan. And so you can go and then participate and then win an election. So these are some of the avenues that we want young people to take advantage of. Be part of this decision-making process of elections, and then that gives you the impetus and opportunity to be able to be part of the decisions of the local governments. Because the municipal chief executive cannot operate without the assembly members. Are you getting it? And major infrastructure development decisions, social amenities, and what have you, takes effect from the decisions of the assembly. So it's very important. That's why I have said severally, when this opportunity is given to me and I'm in parliament to represent Trobu Constituency, one of the areas that I'm going to make sure I'm so much interested and key to is the municipal chief executive, whoever represents us there, because every activities and decision making depend on that individual. My interest will be there, who goes there and represents us. And so we can be able to team up with that person. You know, MPs are just legislatures. They don't really develop. But then you only need to lobby. But you can only make that meaning or impact when you have a good assembly, municipal chief executive that understand the situation on the ground, that we can be able to team up and then work for the development of the assembly. Because whatever I lobby, it has to still go through the assembly before it's implemented. So the assembly chief executive is so crucial. They hide because they are being appointed. We go and then seek election or vote from the delegates or call it the electorate. And they are appointed. It's a serious issue that I think is going forward. We need to look at some of these things so we can be able to restructure it and it works better for us. So this is one area that I would like to employ all the youth, get involved, because me being there, I opened the opportunity for everybody to come on board. And so we can develop our local communities to the best of our.
I spoke to one young person, and he was, his main concern was how would Trobu constituency become safe again? Because he felt like he's moving from another constituency, like he had moved because of work, he had to come to Trobu. But how is he assured that Trobu will be safe again?
I think all these things, it is all about leadership. All right? If you are a father at home and you're not a good father in the sense of you're selfish and greedy. You get money in your pocket, you go to chop bar, go and sit down, take that ponchinam, and then all the meat and what have you and fufu, come back and then see your children at home. You don't care whether your animals eat at home or not, you don't care. Such kind of society doesn't promise any youth. Are you getting it? So it's just greed. So for me being there as your MP, I'm not a greedy man. I will make sure everybody have something to do that better his life. And assured him tomorrow and give him hope. And that is what I bring on board. After all, what are we going with all these things? That is why I don't believe in professional politicians. When I say professional politician, you don't understand.
Well, those that have been deeply trained into it.
Into it. And that is what they take as a profession that earns them a living. Are you getting what I'm saying? I am not a professional politician.
Yes. Not your regular politician.
Never. I can never be. That is why I have achieved a lot before entering into this field. And I call it a calling. God calls me to do this. And so we need people who are upright, people who are sincere, people who can be honest, people who can have interests of the society, the youth, to develop them, to become somebody tomorrow. After all, I want to die one day and the young people coming around me, my dead body, and said, this man has been a very good man. That's all I was looking for. It's not for anything. So with good leadership in place, young people will have hope. With good father at home, children will have hope for tomorrow. My children are not discouraged of tomorrow. They have so much hope for tomorrow because opportunities will be created for them. And so if you have a father at home or a father in any form of society, establishment, if you come and working at my clinic, you have to have a hope. Because through that facility, you can also become somebody. But there are a lot of establishments that people work, they can prosper. Why? Because the leader or the CEO or the owner is a greedy person. And that is the problem we have in Africa and for that matter, Ghana. And Trobu as well. And so me be in charge in parliament, having a very good municipal chief executive, I can assure young people in Trobu Constituency that they will prosper. They will have a future.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor. Your responses are very good. We like the way you respond to questions. Talking about infrastructural developments, driving to your place, we had to dodge potholes, to me better known as manholes. They look more like manholes, but we say they are potholes. What are your plans for infrastructural development? Talk about road and other facilities, because when you look at Pukwase, we lack those amenities. So what are your plans?
One of the heartbreaking, situation we have in this constituency is what you have just mentioned. In fact, when I step out of my gate, anyone who had been with me before or sit in my car before would tell you that this man doesn't like horrible things. I love beautiful things.
Okay.
Driving is supposed to be luxury. That's how I look at driving. When we move from manual car to automatic, we expect driving to be luxury. And to be luxury, you need a good road to drive. People said, a kwan na yebedi. Why nipa da se ni beti na se is not business a kwan na yebedi. Opeduani adi woni yevumu. But it doesn't know that road and other infrastructure is a good thing. If your road networks are bad, it means that you can be trapped. There was a time that I have to be using a road through Afiama, through to the park. What do you call it?
Lions Park.
Which park?
The agricultural park.
Agric Park.
Yeah.
And then link up to Pokwasi.
Pokwasi.
It reached a time that place was so bad that you have to move at a pace like a tortoise. And most of the time is in the night. Anybody who wants to track you can just track you and then mess you up. Because you are going at a very low space. And so road networks are so much important. It is one priority that I want to place value on.
Okay.
So much. And make sure that we lobby for our road networks to be fixed in the community. Starting from Tantra Hill, mile 7 Tantra Hill. It's only the roadside, the major road, the Kumasi, Accra road that you drive on that you see that is good. When we get into the inside itself, you realize that it's so bad. Ni Ankrama, so bad. Omanjo, bad. Asofa, Pokwasi, Amomole, Ayawaso, Fise, Afiama here. So bad, Abensu. Every time the road is bad. So you can imagine the kind of expenses we're making every day, changing the part of our cars. And also the hours we spend to reach where we have to go. And the fuel that we spend. So if the road is good, you reach there within 10 minutes, you spend less fuel, and you save your car also as well.
Exactly.
So Bibisa say a coin because you decline. If I can take 10 minutes to reach where I have to reach, and I'm using 40 minutes to reach where that same destination, I spend more fuel. I wouldn't save money. But if it is 10 minutes, I save money.
Yeah.
Maybe to me bottom. Exactly. So these are the common things that we need to understand, when it comes to road infrastructure. So for me, I've said it severally. It is one area that in Parliament, whoever becomes the Minister of Road, I would continue hitting hard on him every day till major roads within the community is fixed. It is one area that I'm looking at critically.
All right.
If we need to also, through the assembly policies, lobby from outside. Because you see, the whites are good. When they trust you, they can do anything to help you. It is when the mistrust enters. That's why you see the white man wouldn't want to do certain thing for the black man because we're too greedy. You understand that? So if a good leadership is in place within the assembly, who is the municipal chief executive, we can lobby outside and then make sure we get some support from outside to develop our community when it comes to infrastructure.
Great conversation, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if everybody should stay with us throughout the conversation, they realize some few words you have used the most. Say no to greed.
Greed.
True honesty.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is togetherness. Because since we even entered here, I even noticed that your cats and dogs are together.
Everything.
They are even together. Your cats and dogs, you have made them together.
You can't intimidate anybody in my home.
That is very impressive.
No, you can't do that.
So back to the whole sports, like we were speaking earlier. Trobu has some sports facilities, but it's not to the standard. And there are a lot of young people here who actually like to participate in sports, be it football, basketball, but the recreational centers and sports are not there. So when you are voted into power, how exactly do you plan to, and I like another key word you kept using, lobby. You have brought out the true meaning of an MP. Because most people have lost touch when it comes to an MP. So I like the way you were saying lobby. So how best can you help the people of Trobu when it comes to recreational centers and sports centers?
Right. It is very important. You stepped on my compound. You saw that there was a basketball court.
Yeah.
Good. The idea is to engage my male children, the younger ones who are here now currently. And so they get something. You know, when we're young people, we have so much energy. And so if the child cannot utilize that energy, it spends it on something useless somewhere. Are you getting it? That's where this teenage pregnancy and so on and so forth comes in. Or the child gets in some kind of bad lives and then stealing and robbing and all that. And so sports activities, even in school curriculum, is so crucial. That's why we, include it there. So people can be able to engage and then spend some energy and then regain some, energy from there. So it is an area. Recent time, we're seeing this AstroTurf Park being built. We had one in Mile 7, right? Good. And recently, we're seeing some activities at Ofanko Barrier, Ofanko School, where they wanted to do something, but it has slowed down. We've not been seeing much of that. There are a lot of places. Think of the main Ofanko Asofa Park itself, going to Amomole, and then think of Amomole Park itself. And now you go to Omanjo, there are parks over there. You come to even Pokwasi here. This is a Greek park just a stone throw away from here. All these parks must be looked at and developed for our young people. You see, what people don't understand is that I love infrastructure. The building behind here, which is a 3-story building, which is about 24-bedroom apartment, that's my project there. Are you getting it? What infrastructure do is that it beautify a society, it beautify an environment. Now you take a flight here now that you are landing at Heathrow. You land in Heathrow, you look at the city of London. What makes you think that Mikobobra or Abesimiye? It's the infrastructure environment that you are seeing. Okay? You take a flight, you land in New York, you see, JFK airport, you see New York City. It's the infrastructure development there that makes you think that, hey, it's promising. It's beautify the environment. In Canada, in Toronto, you land in Pearson Airport. You see that the place is built so beautiful. Infrastructure beautify environment. It promises, a development and that of hope that so I don't understand why society of ours, we can't have interest in infrastructure development. So it's something so dear to me, my heart, that we need to develop the sport activities within the constituency. We can only do that when there are infrastructure, in terms of football parks, AstroTurf, and what have you. And also the necessary tools that will enable these young people. Because I go around, you hear some of them, they're playing on a playing ground somewhere. They don't even have football. And some instantly, I have to provide them money, for them to go and then get some football and then even jerseys. And so these are the things that, for me, when I'm there, my interest would be. Because we want young people who can develop their talent in that area. I asked them, some of them want to be like migrations, want to be Asamoahs, they are you and all that. It only takes enabling environment for them to be able to achieve that goal. And so they don't become liability. Gone are those days that we were playing football when my knee was hit one day and I stopped. I mean, football was nothing. It's not lucrative. Currently, it's one area that, if it is developed, will give millions of jobs to the young people to develop and become responsible citizens.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I think we've hit on sports. Let's do a little bit on the entertainment industry. So when you look at Pokwase, we have a lot of upcoming musicians, people in the film industry, among others. What are your plans for the creative sector in Pokwase? This is going to be my last question for you.
Right.
What are your plans for the creative sector?
Well, they all fall under the artisans kind of, policies that we're looking at. Those days, when you have a child who wants to be a musician, you see parents' reaction. Music, or you want to be in the acting. They said, artists, what are you going to do there? But then today, these are all areas that are highly lucrative and promising job for our young people. Yes, we have policy towards that also, that the creative art industry, we want to lift it up. If it comes to building a theater in the community for them, we should be looking at that.
Okay.
And then make sure that we get a theater and then get the expertise that comes in and then train them up. I think recently I began seeing some kind of a training school within, is it around the, what do you call it? Amount from Festus Junction area there. I don't know what they are truly into. But we need some of these theaters within the community that can enable these young artists be able to pick up on their talents and develop and then become entrepreneurs on their own, like some of you, what you're doing for society. So it's an area we're going to look at. And all these things, as I keep hitting, it depends on the municipal chief executive, which my interest is going to be. I have said this several times. When I'm in parliament and my government want to impose a municipal chief executive on the community, on the constituency, on the assembly, that I know he wouldn't help the assembly, I'll prefer for the party to come and rerun a by-election to take me off parliament, because I'm going there to achieve a result. As I indicated earlier, I love to achieve results. I am not a celebrating type. If I chalk first, class degree, and you are celebrating, I have achieved. That's what is in my mind.
Okay.
So we want to make sure our society develop in all spheres of our life, and to be able to, so that we can be able to create job and then make life better for all of us. And I want to see Trobu develop. That is my aim. I want to see Trobu develop. I want to see our young people into all kind of things that tomorrow we are no more. I mean, they celebrate us, that we have left them with a good legacy.
All right.
That's what I'm looking for.
Thank you very much for your response.
Okay.
Viewers, you are not watching Flight Lieutenant Rollins. You are actually watching Dr. Kofi Halm in the building. So to my final question, Doctor, you mentioned earlier that you have a foundation with your wife. So in case people want to actually contribute, is there a way they could easily approach or help with that when it comes to that foundation?
Oh yeah. As much as possible, as an open, foundation that care for all kind of people. Currently, as we speak, we stopped going to the hinterland with our medical services. Now, people make noise so much of health screening, and so on and so forth. I heard recently some opponents of ours go and then did some health screening in the society. And that is not the kind of health screening we want to do for society. Sometimes it's good when people don't even know that they have health issues. Now, you get to screen people like come, the basic, come and then let's check your blood pressure. The blood pressure is checked. You are hypertensive. You don't have money. I refer you. And you can't even get over-the-counter drugs to buy.
The person actually get more stressed.
They get more stress, and it kills them much faster. We've realized that with a lot of HIV patients. So sometimes we take them through processes before you even announce to the person that you are positive HIV. So the kind of health screening we do, it is to screen the people, diagnose the condition, and then take care of the person at least for 4 weeks. But it's not about just come, let's check your sugar. We realize that your FBS is high. And so therefore, take this prescription, go and then, no. If the person, most of the time, the people you get in health screening are those who don't have to even walk to any facility to seek for health attention. And so these people are the one we screen. At the end of the day, they can't go anywhere. They sit in their rooms and they lament. They become worse off, they die off. So our charity foundation, this is how we run our foundation in terms of health. We take health to the hinterlands and all that. And then we screen a whole community, feed them, and then medicate them. And then we come back. And so coming to your question of, what do you call it?
The NGO.
The NGO, we have that facility there that anyone who wants to access. Currently, it's limited to maybe petty setup of businesses, petty setup of maybe facilitate your school fees, petty clothing and what have you that we can give to people currently because of the involvement with this political journey. And so my chunk of our resources are going into this. Recently, we had a fire outbreak at Tantra Hill around the Anija Hospital area. We entering there not too long ago. We're going to enter there with some aid. I am not entering there as a politician. I'm entering there as someone who wants to run at the back of our foundation, Deliham Charity Foundation. We're going to go there and then get them some clothing, get them some sanitary pads, get them some, bathing accoutrements, get them some foodstuffs, get them some, what other thing? Clothing and all that. And so that's what we're preparing to go and do. Within the next few weeks, we are entering into that environment. And also give them some money to do some little startups. And so the facility in terms of our health, charity foundation is open to everybody. You can access it when you get contact with our numbers. You can access us, and then we see how best we can help you. We have a lot of people in the society of Trobu. We use our facility, our charity foundation, train a lot of people into industrial activities in terms of empowering women into industrial activities of economic gains. And so they are doing some of these things and then making a living. We'd also open little provision shop for some people. Some people want to go into egg business. Some want to go into charcoal business and what have you. So we've done a lot within the community just to make sure at least people get a little to, turn their life around. Unfortunately, when it comes to the egg business, people that we resource with the crates of egg, they go and then put the egg in their home and then cook it in the kitchen and then eat. It's very unfortunately that we have such kind of situations sometimes. I mean, this is the black man mind, and we are very much aware of it. And so the foundation is open up to everybody. Yeah.
Okay, Doctor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We are honored. We are privileged that you've accepted our crew and then our campaign to go out there and encourage the youth in general to participate in this upcoming elections. We are so grateful and we thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. What I want to say is that you're going around, you hear a lot of young people says, I don't want to vote. It is sad for a young person to say that he wouldn't want to go and vote. It means that you are creating a space for, when foolish people go and elect foolish people for you, wicked people go and elect wicked people for you. They come out with policies that affect you. And so it is our civic responsibility. Every young person who has turned the age of 18, according to our constitution, must make the effort to go and then vote. The fact that we have bad leaderships today doesn't mean that all the leaders that are vying for positions are bad. Some of us have you, the youth, at heart. And we want to make sure we shape your future and then shape society. And so you can live here and be prosperous. Most of the time, you are looking for outside a visa to go out and all that. Now, it is good to travel. But you see, one thing that those bloggers that comes down don't tell you young people is that it is not easy out there. Now, you take a visit visa, you reach Canada, or you reach the United States of America or Britain in London. What it means is that you are going to stay there a while. Either they stamped your passport, which is 6 months, though you have 5 years visa. When that 6 months stamp is expired, it means you have overstayed. Now, if you choose to come earlier before the 6 months, you are okay. You can come back, gather some ticket again and go back. But if you choose to stay, it means that you cannot come back again at any time and then go back again. So that compels a lot of people to be in the system there. Now you have to go through contractual marriages. Now, that currently in the United States, you will not pay less than $35,000 to $40,000. In Canada, the same thing. You will not pay less than $35,000 to $40,000 Canadian dollars before either a male or a female will come into that contractual, marriage with you to enable you get documents. And that takes long years. Aside that, at the point in time when that young man, who you are a female, because immigration want to see you be in a room together as couple, wants to have a carnal knowledge of you, and you say no, he can choose or she can choose to abrogate. That amount of money you have sent to him or her is quenched. You have to start all over again. So as you are wasting the time there, the years are going, your peers that had the opportunity to be here and then get certain opportunity and privileges excel. They move faster. You come back in 10, 15 years, securing your documents as a citizen of the United States or citizens of Canada. You come back, they are way back. They are way, way, way ahead of you. So these are the basic things. You hear police siren coming, you are running away over there because you know you are living there illegally. Why can't we make this environment better for ourselves and then create enabling environment for the young people just as it is over there? That's why the infrastructure is very important. That is why good leadership is very, very important. And God cares about that. Unfortunately, we go and then sit in front of the pastors. They now in bed with the politicians. So society is so polluted. Recently, I heard one man of God, that is known man of God, respectable man of God in Ghana here, telling us that he doesn't believe that God has a hand in leadership choices in this country. It's sad. You go and then vote for your leader. God doesn't have anything to do with it. So every spheres of our society is completely polluted. And indiscipline is so high, and then we come back and then blame the youth. So I want to urge young people to see Ghana and have hope in Ghana. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. We just need a good leadership to steer the affairs of this country, get good parliamentarians that are not selfish, and get good municipal chief executives. We can turn the fortune of this country around for the prospect of all young people in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much too. So don't forget to participate in the upcoming election peacefully, and then you select your leaders in order not to blame someone for not selecting someone you were expecting to come on board. Take care.